Hello, everyone. I'm super excited to come on today and share with you our next guest, Shannon Desouza from Shannon Desouza Coaching. She is a sales coach, and I'm so excited to bring you on Success TV today. And I'm curious if you'd just take a moment to introduce yourself and your business to our listeners.
Absolutely, Crystal. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Shannon Desouza. I'm an award-winning entrepreneur and sales coach. Sometimes my clients hire me as a fractional CRO in the corporate world. I have now been online for 8 years. I have served more than 400 customers. And today I am helping women predominantly create consistent clients in their online business.
That is amazing. Thank you for giving yourself that introduction. I'm really interested to hear from you as your perspective. What does success mean to you? And I know that's kind of a loaded question, but I'm curious.
The first thing that intuitively came to me was ease and flow. Being able to, success to me is being able to ask for what you want, being able to surrender to know that it's going to happen for you, and maintaining your stress levels. I think I'm winning if I'm able to do all of that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And taking a little reflection in the mirror sometimes, going like, hey, where am I at? And what needs to shift to step back into that flow.
Or
For
like
sure.
celebrate ourselves, right? So women have a hard time, especially high achieving women, we have a hard time being like, oh my God, I did that. Wow, that's incredible. Like I'm winning at life right now. So I think that's successful to be able to recognize the work that we're doing.
Yes, thank you for that so much. I'm curious where you are now and where you started. What inspired you to become an entrepreneur?
I think I've always been an entrepreneur. I come from a long lineup of entrepreneurs. So my dad has 10 siblings and about 80% of them are entrepreneurs. So I think it's in the blood. My very first memory of entrepreneurship is being 8 years old and being at my cousin's house and saying, hey, I think we should have a garage sale and we're going to sell all your stuff, but I'm going to take 50% of that. So I think sales has just kind of been in my blood. It's been recognized when I was quite young by many different like mentors and leaders in my life. And so as I grew older and I was in the corporate world, I think I just decided to like go down that path. So I was in software sales for about 10 years and I started as a sales rep, grew to VP of sales and marketing. But I was never happy in corporate. I knew I was not meant to be in corporate, but I think it was about just like doing my time, as well as if you're just in entrepreneurship, there's so many other things that are available to you and you just kind of don't have that idea unless you're put into these other situations. So I'm grateful for the time for sure.
Thank you for sharing that. Now, if we tap into like beliefs and your values in business, let's kind of go down that little trail for a moment
Ooh, let's
and
do it.
tap into how do those values and beliefs really guide your business decisions?
I think
And what are they maybe?
self-belief is probably the number one thing that entrepreneurs need. And I think that's what separates the ones who decide to grow and take bigger risks and do bigger things from the ones who decide to sit in the fear or the comfort of where they are at. So that is definitely something that I have spent a lot of time, energy, and money on. And I continue to take bigger and bigger risks. And how I am growing my own self-belief is by looking at the success data that I have. Right. I finished 2, difficult degrees. I have grown my business to multiple 6 figures per year. I have had a team. I've done all of these things. And so when I get into the fear, what I do is do my best to walk myself off the ledge, right? I'm in fear like everybody else. And then I look at the data of what I have and, do I want what I'm trying to go after more than the risk that, I'm about to take? And typically I feel for women, the risk is generally around money and the fear of spending the money or the fear of not getting the money back. Right. And so what I have done is purposefully gone into groups where there's lots of men, and I've just noticed how men maneuver completely differently. They see a $10,000 offer and they see the ability to make $100,000. And so that's a 10x return. And they'll be like, no brainer. Here's my money. See you later. Right. And so that has really changed my life. To know that there is another way to operate, because prior to that, I hadn't seen that. I hadn't learned that. And so I would say like self-belief really is the game changer.
I can completely resonate. It's like the moment that you invest or take yourself seriously, others will too. Right. I have this little, I call it my evidence journal, because there's sometimes where I've got the committee, or I say the bitch in the brain, excuse my
Yeah,
language,
I love all of
right?
that. Mm-hmm.
Where I'm hearing it and I'm seeing it, and then I go back to the evidence. So I love that you come back to those facts and really celebrate that, because it's a lost piece. And I see it a lot with women for sure, where it's like you say, that self-belief, self-trust. Do I trust myself to make the right decisions? Do I trust myself to invest in myself? Am I worth it? Yes.
There's all
Speak in my
sorts of
language
critters.
for sure. Yeah, critters. I like that. I've never heard it said like that. Shannon, curious to know what has been the most rewarding part of your journey, if you could kind of tap into that for us.
For me, being a sales coach, it's the money that my clients are making. Like, people are coming to me. Like, I have a client who she started making around 40K a year. And within 3 months of working together, she made $103,000. Like, she's a stallion. She's an absolute stallion. And it was just like, some strategy, mindset, but some cheerleading. And so just having someone have her back, she could reach out to me at any time. That made the huge difference for her. And that's just one example. So to me, that's the real game changer.
I love, love, love that. Thank you for sharing. And I can feel your energy shift too when you're like celebrating your clients and their success. And it shows like the work that you've put in and what you've been able to deliver just ripples out to everybody.
Absolutely.
So,
Because it's one thing for me to be able to close deals.
yeah.
It's another thing to be able to bring that to my clients and replicate that success. Right. And so that to me is the most rewarding thing, because I truly believe that sales is a skill. And sales is mastering that skill is how to create generational wealth, because then we will teach our children how to negotiate. We will invest and build a portfolio. We will buy more real estate. We will do all of the things that traditionally women haven't been able to have access to.
I absolutely love that. So let's flip it. And can you share with me and our listeners today, what unique challenges have you really encountered as an entrepreneur? If you could kind of pinpoint a few.
The first one intuitively that came to mind, again, it's self-belief, it's fear, it's self-trust, it's my own stewarding, it's self-coaching, right? So I am constantly faced probably every single day with some sort of challenge. But it comes down to, am I going to accept this as a challenge, right? Am I going to stew in it? So like losing clients, or getting bad feedback, or a team member leaving, or the project didn't turn out how I wanted to. So it's all there. It's all there.
So you're looking at these challenges, you're looking at the success. What strengths have you really found most helpful in running your business?
Well, the first is mindset around, is this really a challenge, or is this an opportunity to learn? And each of those things, I take a step back and say, okay, well, how did I contribute to this? How can I improve? Like, what needs to happen here? And I think that's a skill that is not taught. That's a muscle that needs to be flexed all the time. And I think that takes you out of the victim mentality. And entrepreneurs who are in victim mentality, well, we're not going to reach our goals, in that energy, right? So I that's the first thing that really comes to mind is this really a challenge, or is this, some other way that I have to maneuver right now?
Love that. Looking for the lessons along the way. Absolutely. And I think that through our pain and our own lessons and learnings in our business, that is such a good opportunity for other people to learn from those
1000%.
mistakes or experience, or challenges or opportunities.
Absolutely. And so that, like, to me, going back to values, like that level of like trust and transparency is important to me. So as I go through things, I share them with my clients because most likely they have gone through it or they will go through it. Nothing is really unique to me, right? It's just kind of like what came at me and how can I improve this? So I recently, embarked on a journey, and I was so open and transparent with them, and like they can take what they need from that, right? And I don't want to create I am holier than thou element in my business, because I'm not. I'm also human. I want people to see me like a real person too. Right. And so as I embark on that with authenticity, I think it inspires other people to be able to bring that into their business. Right. And then that's a differentiator, especially when you're hiring a coach.
Absolutely. And just following your journey as you had that inspired thought, however long ago, to create your retreat, and then like putting it all together and the working behind the scenes. And thank you for sharing that part of your journey, because it also gives others permission to share their vulnerability. Like I look at my social and I'm like, I just haven't really been consistent, and that's okay. But behind the scenes, I'm operating multiple six-figure businesses and being that CEO, CFO. But it's like sharing that out and seeing you share your journey through the building of the Sedona retreat and like the success, and like, oh my goodness, this happened and that happened. Like I'm behind the scenes going like, if she can, I can. So
And that's exactly it. I am not unique to anything. Like, I've never been that person who everything comes easy. I just have to work for it, right? So if you have, that's another value of entrepreneurship, right? Knowing that, I just had an $83,000 month. That is a snowball, right?
my little bell.
Ring the bell, ring the bell.
That nobody can hear when we ring it. It's so funny.
That's a snowball effect, right? Like I didn't just show up on the internet and that happened for me, right? Or just show up in my business. So just knowing that everything is progressing. And then, of course, there's been 0 months, right? Like if my energy is not in it, if I am burnt out, well, that's going to be reflective in my sales, right? And so that's where that comment around like self-stewardship is so important.
Yeah, knowing when to take that break and also nourish ourselves first, for sure.
And that is so difficult for high achieving women. I sometimes think I'm a robot, right? Like I can do all the things and I don't need rest, and my body fights me. So
I can relate to that.
mm-hmm.
Do you want to share a little bit about your business evolution since it
Oh
started?
God, there's been so much evolution. I started my business as a freelancer. I moved from Toronto to Vancouver, and instead of getting a job in tech, I saw the opportunity to basically become a consultant. And so I very effortlessly became a tech consultant to 3 clients. And then that very effortlessly turned into an agency. And why that is because the demand for talent is very, very high in Vancouver, but there's not enough supply. And so I saw that very quickly, and I just took advantage of that opportunity. And by advantage, I mean, like, I put myself out there. I asked for what I wanted. So I have been operating my agency now for 8 years. It still exists. It's kind of something I don't talk as much about because I have a lot of business in there already. And so seeing about 350 clients over, I think it was 6 years, I predominantly attracted women. And so from there, I saw, holy crap, women have a problem with sales. And that is a problem that I thought was worth fixing. I was feeling called to do something greater. I knew I have a higher purpose, and it was just like my time to get like tapped. And so it took me some time to figure it out and what was that going to be. And that's when I hired a coach. And this woman was absolutely brilliant and incredible, and she still is. And I went from spending basically nothing on myself for professional development to $25,000. And that's really when the barrier got broken, because I said to myself, I am worthy. and energetically everything shift, because when you actually make that kind of transaction, things shift in your business. And so I remember within weeks, not even weeks, maybe like 2 weeks, I then closed, my biggest deal at that time. And that time it was about $10,000. So like immediately the impact started happening in the agency. And then through that, I realized like, no, I want to impact people in sales. And then I created, an official sales program. What I had actually been doing behind the scenes was a lot of coaching and consulting, but I wasn't ready to accept that title. I had a lot of judgment over the word coach, because the word coach is so easily thrown around. It's unregulated. And so there was a huge different power dynamic that happened as soon as I accepted that title. And then I was able to like show up in a different level of power. And I have just in digital education, I have over $100,000 in digital education. And so I was able to basically transmute that to put it from a lens of sales, which is a highly desired skill set. And the competition is actually very, very low in the sales coach category because, again, of the fear of sales. So I saw that as another opportunity. I stepped into it, and my coaching business just took off. So now I have multiple streams of revenue. And that's, if you have the capability, absolutely take the chance, do it. I have teams that are supporting me. I can't do everything alone. And I think that is a big transformation of learning and accepting that I can get help. Right? I can hire the right people. I can spend the money, and the money is going to bring me even more money. Right? And with money, like with impact comes money, and like those two things are connected. And the evolution is continuing. This is like just the beginning, really.
That is incredible. And while you're speaking, I'm getting so many little aha moments and downloads as well, because I'm hearing, breaking through the framework really, and doing things differently. But you made that decision to identify differently like that. And I think that's what's super cool, is by putting yourself in the room and trusting and investing in yourself, all these opportunities and possibilities come out. So it's like, where are we saying no? And where are we, stepping into that yes, to allow this beautiful ripple of breadcrumbs, as I call it, right? You're finding your little, it's like moving to the next thing. So thank you for sharing your evolution, because I'm starting to get to know you on a deeper level as well. Let's talk a little bit about the future vision that you have for your business.
The future vision is to help, women create generational wealth. And I think that's going to show up in so many different ways. Right now it's, coaching and consulting, or, fractional CRO work, or in my agency, that's what it looks like right now. I have been a paid speaker for many years, so there's probably going to be a little bit more of that. There's been a seed planted about a book, but that hasn't really, who knows when that's going to show up. If it's like in my 40s or 50s, who the hell knows when that's going to happen. I just know that there's more. And I trust that it will be revealed in divine timing.
I love that. I love that. Can we dive a little bit deeper into this trusting and allowing things to reveal? So if you can talk about that a little bit in more depth for our listeners. So what is the tool that you use in really reconnecting inward to find that trust?
Abraham Hicks is my queen, so, constantly connecting with that message when I feel I need to hear that. And, I have ups and downs. Sometimes I don't need to hear it for a while. And sometimes, I need that medicine. And what has happened, it's very similar to what I just spoke about, is like your success journal, right? Like the victories have been there. Like, why am I doubting anything? Right? Sedona is like the perfect example. It was birthed Rocket of Desire last summer in a pool, and then I dragged my feet on that for like 6 months. And then finally I came out with that and I sold it in 4 months. Like international retreat, like for all the right women. It was a spiritual, energetic retreat, which I'm like known, my brand is business, right?
Soul bumps when you said that too. It's
So
there's potency there.
it was my life's work. It was the most purposeful thing I've ever done, right? So I also see more retreats and more events and like all these other things, because humans are social. We need to be together in community, right? And what better way to really embark in community is to be broken down and then rise up like a phoenix. And that's what these women did. So I can't remember the question.
Was the vision of the future of your business, and I love it because you get into playing in this like creative possibility mindset. It's like, what? Where were we again?
Oh yes,
Perfect.
you had asked like, how do I surrender?
Oh yeah, how do you, that was my question, is how to tap in, how to trust that internal North Star or that piece that guides you through.
Practice, right? And it's like riding your bike and you learn to ride it without your hands, and then all of a sudden you realize, holy crap, I could go miles without riding with my hand, like holding the handlebars, right? So that's the thing, is like you take it up, okay, a little bit, okay, oh, let's try another, and then it's going longer and longer and longer, and now I just know that it'll happen. It's just going to happen. Like but again, I'm not questioning the timing of when it's supposed to happen. Like something just manifested for me that I literally just put out in January. I remember this entire messaging happening to me. And I was like, I'm going to do that. I want to figure out a way to do that. And I haven't been able to spend the time and energy on doing it. And now 6 months later, it's shown up and the entire plan is laid out for me. And it's like, whoa.
It's like, it's right here.
Yeah, it's ready. Oh, now I'm ready, because I wasn't ready in January for that.
Divine timing. Absolutely. I 100% agree. And I think also not controlling the outcome, right? So it's like, I've set the intention, I got clear on my desires, I'm deciding and moving, but sometimes it's like, it's put in the ether and you decide and you move, but you're moving on with your day to day, and then boof. So that's exciting. Oh, can't wait to hear more about that.
Absolutely. Like my intention for Sedona was, I kept saying like, my people will hear my message. And so the sales goal was 8. I hit 7. So technically I could shit on myself about, I didn't hit my goal. I'm the whatever, right? I could tell myself whatever story. But if I go back to that intention, it was that my people would hear my message, and I had all of the right people.
And like, you were number 8. So maybe you saw the number 8 as being like a total of 8.
And at the end of the day, like that's how the universe works. And I can't question how it's going to show up. I just have to be ready to receive because I've asked for it.
And you're taking aligned action. So some people, they ask for it and they're trusting it, but they're not actually taking those aligned steps. So I think that that's incredible. And bringing your audience along on the journey too was super fun watching. So yes, I definitely follow you in your little journeys. And I was oh my goodness, I want to be able to do that too.
And you can. Yeah. It's available to everyone. So since then, 2 of my clients have now launched their own international retreats.
Yes, they have.
So one of them is selling 2 at once. One is in Italy, Tuscany specifically. And then she's also doing Sedona next year. And then I have another client who's doing Sedona next year. And so
that's incredible.
It's available.
And a lot of people don't even realize that when they build their life, what I call lifestyle business, around the things that excite them, the energy that moves them, if it's travel, if it's speaking, if it's experiences, you too can create that, right? So I love that. I know that speaking, retreats, those types of things is something that I'm really stepping into. Live events, group events, bigger online events is my jam. But just seeing your experience has inspired me even more. I can just feel it.
Incredible. I can't wait for you to tell me where it's going to be. And so this is the exact manifest. Okay. I said, I only want to take clients that I would travel with. And like, that's the depth of intimacy that I work with my clients at. So if I can't see us, doing a day club in Tulum, or like chilling on the beach, in Paraguay, then,
Well, and that's those deeper, enriched relationships that you're seeking,
yes.
and you're putting out those intentions, because you could show up and just be a coach, but you're like, no, you've got depth, you've got potency, you've got experiences. Like, just getting in the goddamn room is like, get in the room. I'm hitting I talk with my hands when I get excited, but like getting in the room and just being there and allowing the magic to unfold.
And
Is
trusting.
incredible.
And that's what it's coming. And it's the surrender. So guess where we're going next year? Guess.
France.
Greece.
That's kind of close, maybe not quite.
And it's 90% sold.
Wow.
Right? So
I just got soul bumps, because now this is the thing. The experience that you have created creates reoccurring customers because they want to travel with you again. Now your travel is now a business. Boom.
and it's always going to be luxury, right? We had a private chef, we had a mansion, so the brand has been created, right? So now it's like, when I say, oh, we're going to Greece, it's like, oh my God, get in there, right? Like,
yes,
it's happening.
Woo. Oh my God. It's just supercharged. I feel it in every bone of my body.
Everything is available. Everything's available to us, right?
Yes. Okay. What advice would you give aspiring soul-lit entrepreneurs that are listening today? I know that's a loaded, I keep feeling these questions are like, oof. But if you could sum it up into a couple sentences, what
Absolutely.
would you give them?
Stop with the negative self-talk. You would never talk to anybody like that. So why are you talking to yourself like that? Like, as soon as you learn, I've been on the journey of practicing positivity for 8 years now. As soon as you embark on this journey and you learn how to master it, and you can learn how to master it very quickly, your entire life, your relationships, your business, everything is going to change. So commit to yourself, commit to talking to yourself in the way that you would talk probably to your child or to your best friend. Treat yourself with integrity. And as soon as you make that change, your self-belief is going to start going up. And that is really the secret, right? That's all we've been talking about, right? Is
absolutely.
How do we surrender into knowing, well, you're smart enough. You're good enough. You have everything that you need to make it happen, right? I am not any different than any of you. I just chose to choose myself. So absolutely. That's my advice.
Oh, thank you. Now, choosing yourself, I'm actually gonna like rewatch and quote out some words and create a little tile there, Shannon. Before we end today, I just wanted to say for our listeners, you've put together a little talk around how to close more high ticket sales on sales calls. So I'm going to hand it over to you in just a moment. And there is a reference download as well in the notes section for this post. So please take a look at it. And Shannon, if you could kind of tap into a little bit about that resource when you're finished your talk, I'm going to hand it over to you today. And thanks so much for joining us.
Yes. So part of my mission is helping women create generational wealth. And so the way I see it is you're going to get the most out of your time and energy if you're selling at a high price point. And there's nothing wrong with selling low ticket. There's nothing wrong with memberships. There's nothing wrong with any of those. This is just my methodology. This is how I operate in my business. And this is what I teach. So typically how you sell through a sales call how you sell high ticket is through a sales call. And so a sales call requires a process. And so this is the reason why I became a sales coach, is because I wanted women to understand the process. And once you understand the process, your confidence is going to increase because you're going to know how to navigate. So there is really just one concept that I want to teach you guys today. And that is called BANT. Have you ever heard of BANT?
No.
BANT. It stands for budget, authority, need, and timeline. BANT. So when we're on a sales call, the very first thing we're always going to want to look for and ask questions and be curious about. We're a detective. We are a detective on these calls, okay? We're not actually trying to convince anyone. We're not trying to persuade anybody of anything. We are just trying to learn and understand. And so that's what I first want you to shift your mindset into. You're not convincing anybody of anything, okay? So need, N, is the first one we're always going to dive into. So what is the challenge that they're facing, right? So you can ask that one question. Why did you take this call today? Is another way, right? What's going on in your business that's causing you challenges? And then what you do is you just start probing and asking more questions. So we could do a little role play if you want, right? And then people can get a better understanding of how to use this. So, hey, Crystal, thank you so much for joining me. I'd love to get to know you a little bit more. Why don't you tell me why you jumped on this call with me?
Well, Shannon, I was really attracted by your energy and what you put out on social media. And really, I want to be more like that. I want to be more confident when I'm showing up and being visible.
I love that. Thank you so much. I received that so deeply. So tell me a little bit more about your business. What kind of business do you run?
Well, currently I run multiple businesses, and I think that that's why I'm a little confused as to how to support my clients, because I wear many, many hats. And so within one business, I'm operating a soccer club, another business, I'm managing property management, and on another business is my coaching. And so what I'm realizing is that with uncertainty on how I can support my clients, I don't have the confidence to show up.
And so what does showing up mean to you?
Showing up means to me is being consistent, having clarity in my messaging, knowing exactly how I can support the people around me.
And would you say that you don't have this clarity for all three of your businesses?
I would say that I am swapping my identity right now. And instead of being a doer in my businesses and working inside of my businesses, I'm taking a step and working on my businesses and stepping into more of a CEO, CFO. And with that comes an identity shift.
Oh, of course. And congratulations for even wanting this for yourself. So
Thank
that's
you.
absolutely incredible. So if we're going to talk about like the future of your businesses, which one of them are you wanting to focus in more on and grow in?
In my coaching business.
Incredible. So we have clarity on that. So that's really exciting. And so how are you currently getting clients today?
Well, currently I'm getting clients by offering them up like right now. I have a beta program. And so I'm doing heart-to-heart interviews, so one-on-one calls with them in order to bring them into my beta program, my 8-week program. And I have done that and they've all moved through. Also just direct reach outs. And currently working with my existing clients that I actually have in my other businesses as well.
Okay. Well, that's exciting that you're able to feed in leads from those multiple places. So that's incredible. So what is your goal for this business? How many like clients are you looking to enroll?
My goal for my coaching business is to really create more of an offer suite where they can come in at any point. So I do have some foundational programming around mindset, around self-identity, around self-led leadership, the potency, the activation pieces, and really creating this self-led leader in my clients that are wanting to work with me. So for my business, I would say that having more of a program that they can come in anytime to support. So I really help them with concept to creation in their business. So an idea or something that's on the back burner, we bring it forward, we activate it. We bring in some mindset strategies to bring in the belief, the visioneering to connect with exactly what they're wanting in their business. And we kind of reverse osmosis based on creating that vision, that connection to who they are and what are they creating in their life. And so I think where I'm sitting right now is not having an offer suite that is consistent and that supports my clients coming in at any moment in time. So that's what I'm looking to create more confidence around and clarity so that I have somewhere for them to go.
Absolutely. So you want to sell an evergreen.
Yes.
Got it. And is this a high ticket offer? How much are you going to price this at?
Pricing it around probably right now it's priced at 1,111. So probably bumping it up to around 2,222.
Okay. So it is high ticket. So anything over $2,000 is considered high ticket. Um, and so what are you planning, I would say, what are you planning to do to find these clients that you can enroll at any time? Like tell me the marketing strategy, tell me the sales strategy.
So currently right now, the sales strategy that I'm following is doing more heart-to-heart interviews. Right now, the beta group that has gone through, I'm getting testimonials. I'm understanding this program that I've just launched, and utilizing it to then move into more of a mini transformational experience, which I'll be creating over the next six weeks to bring new people, new audiences through multiple streams, through the mini transformational experience. So like a free challenge, so to speak. And then from that, bringing them into the, instead of a mini beta, more of a beta version of the program.
Okay. And so can you share with me the number that you feel would be successful for enrollment?
For the mini transformational experience?
For this next like iteration of what you're selling?
So my first round, I was hoping to have 4 to 5, and I landed at 4. So I'm hoping for this next round to bring in 10. I do currently, because I'm delivering the program, creating it and creating the evergreen materials as I go. Having smaller groups at the beginning of these launches is fantastic because it can support me in getting the data that I'm needing. But eventually I want to be able to bring through, I would say 25 to 30 people per launch is my goal and intention.
So I'm hearing a little bit of conflicting information because you said you wanted to sell in evergreen, but now you're telling me you want to sell in launch. So can you give me a little bit more information to bridge the
Absolutely.
gap?
So right now I'm selling in launch to create the materials for the evergreen. So I'm getting the data to be able to put into the back end of my program system.
Okay. So it sounds like you have things pretty much fleshed out. So why did you feel like you wanted to connect with me here? Like how can I help you?
The knowledge around different sales strategies and really gaining clarity and understanding around what options there are, because there's so many different ways to sell things. And so for me, understanding how to create excitement and energy around sales, because I've been in sales my entire life, and for whatever reason I'm very successful in really sharing and selling other businesses that are part of me that I can hide behind, like Healy, like my soccer club, right? But when it comes to really owning my potency, my gifts, the magical things that I'm creating in this world, there's this veil of like fear of being seen, fear of being heard. And so when I tap into that, it's like, okay, Crystal, what is the fear here? And part of it is, could I actually hold the energy that I feel that's creating, that is like just ready? It's amplified. I can feel it, that there's like a shift happening. There's this identity shift happening. There's this potency in what's being created, but the fear of, can I actually hold that energy? And so there's this self-trust piece that we kind of go back to.
So how would you envision me helping you with that?
I would say having a cheerleader in my corner. I would say just really processing the unknown, because I do have a few mentors that I'm currently working with, and sometimes you get information from one, information from other. They each have their styles. So for me, it's like embodying what is the right style for me, and really understanding what it is that excites me. I don't want to do something that doesn't excite me. And so knowing what you don't want to do or how it feels in one area gives me clarity on how I do want to feel. And I want to feel activated. I want to feel like it's ease and flow. I want to be showing up, knowing what my offer suite is, knowing how I can support people, and having that consistency in that knowing of, like you mentioned, strategy. It's like just laying it all out. So I go, oh, I now see it. And sometimes because I'm a visioneer, and I see things big picture all the time, to really hone it back and get clear on those pieces, it seems to be either overwhelming or scattered thoughts as to where to start.
And I can completely understand that. It's definitely a common thing that folks, experience, especially when you do have lots of, ideas that you want to bring to life. Now, you mentioned that you have 2 coaches. What are they helping you with?
Currently one is a wealth activator. So putting myself in the room with multiple 6, 7 figure business owners has expanded my awareness of what is possible. And so a lot of generational wealth building, really talking about multiple streams of income, really networking with this amazing group of women. And then on the other side, I'm working with a local team here to get the back end of my business. I'm currently using Podia and I want to switch to Entreport. So I'm bringing in more of their soul tech system, really getting clear on who are my ideal clients because my niche has changed. I've moved from more mindfulness and early learning to more mindset strategist and bringing in more business coaching. So it's an interesting shift. And so getting really clear on that, where I'm at right now with my ideal client, with my niche, like I am a business artist and really owning that piece of me. So one is supporting like generational wealth and mindset, and the other is really supporting me in streamlining my messaging, getting my sales page going, getting Entreport and the back end foundation put together, which they're both very, very helpful. And it's needed where I'm at right now in my business.
Absolutely. So just to confirm, they are not helping you with sales and offer creation and clarity around, what you're looking to build.
Within the first coach, absolutely. I do have access to resources to watch, to then create, and then have my one-on-one. So I'm at the point now going, I need an offer suite. So I just chatted with her on Voxer this morning and she's like, Kate, let's bring that to your one-on-one. Here's the resources for you to watch. And what's really interesting is I wasn't ready for it before. And now it's like, I'm ready, but I feel like I was ready yesterday for it. Right.
Well, that's how activation works.
Absolutely.
That's how activation works.
And her style, though, sorry to interrupt you, is more of a sell every day, right? So curiosity marketing, selling every day. But I also look at that going, that could be exhausting for me, right? So it's like finding the passive income streams as well. So I'm really researching how, because I have a whole section of materials just sitting over there that could be a new passive income stream, but I also don't want to dilute my focused attention on in my business and what I'm really creating.
Absolutely. So you've told me about that you want to focus on getting. Oh, there you are.
I'm still here. I think it cut out. You were just saying I told you I wanted to have more focused attention and then you cut out.
And yes, you told me you wanted to have more focused attention in generating sales, and you need support on that. But then when we talked about your support system right now, it sounds like you have somebody who is supporting you there. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think it's just the asking for help too is a big thing.
Okay.
Right? Asking for help and actually, I've noticed that I spend time on everything else, but really my passion, which is my business, and being able to help other women and entrepreneurs stand in their power to make shifts and ripples in the world. And so I choose myself last, which is very common, as you've been talking about. So these are these little aha moments. And so now that I'm ready to choose myself, even you asking me these questions, it's like, I have access to resources. It's just asking the right questions, right? Asking the right questions and really asking for support.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So the good news is that you have it around you, right? So at this point, I don't think we would really be a good fit to move this conversation forward anymore. Of course, like I'm here cheerleading you and want you to succeed. But it does sound like you have what you need. So is there anything that you would like to ask me?
My questions for you, Shannon, would just be, around your drive to continue to share, your drive to continue to bring your clients and your viewers backstage. Like, how do you remove that veil of
baby steps?
Yes.
One small step every single day. It's just like learning to run. Like you don't start by sprinting, right? And I talk about that because I'm in that process. And so it's exactly the same thing. Like my content today is going to be very, very different than my content in a year from now. I'm going to be stronger. I'm going to be better, right? I'm going to be able to take bigger risks. And so if I don't allow myself to take messy action, then we're never going to get there, right? And nobody's perfect. Like, even if you look at these like large accounts, it's, everyone's kind of just out there being creative, being whoever they truly are. And that ultimately is what attracts our buyer, right? People, who don't like my very strong personality and, to the point, conversation and messaging, like, I'm not for them. And that's okay.
Absolutely. Well, I really value the questions that you were asking me. I was like, oh crap, Kay, we're really diving into this because really.
So let's talk to the audience about what happened.
Yes.
All we did in that conversation was I only got into need.
Mm-hmm.
And I disqualified her as a lead because she has resources. And if she has those resources, that she basically is saying, oh my God, I just have to go ask them. There's no point in asking, how much money have you put aside to invest in a sales mentor? Because you basically just told me you have that already. And so what is that question? That is budget, right? How much would you put aside is budget. The other question I would have typically asked is, if you were going to invest today, is there anybody that you would have a conversation with to approve approve this? Right. And that is going to show me authority. Authority means, who is the decision maker? So if you were like, no, I don't have to talk to anybody about it, I make these decisions on my own. Great. You're the decision maker. But sometimes if we don't ask that question, what happens is we don't know, the deal can get stalled because we don't know, they have to talk to their husband, or they have to talk to their business bestie, or they have to talk to their bookkeeper, or I've heard all sorts of things. So deals will get stalled if I don't ask that question. So that's authority. So we've done need, we've done budget, we've done authority, and the last is timeline. So then I would ask, okay, well, if you're looking to get started, when, would you want to sign the contract, right? When would this happen for you? When would you take the plunge? When would we, begin our beautiful relationship together of getting you more sales? However way you want to ask it, really. And that's going to give me timeline. And you're going to be like, I'm ready today, or I have to put some money together first. Follow up with me in a month, right?
Totally.
And that's timeline. So that's banned. But I think it was really interesting that we went in the direction of me disqualifying you, because one of the things I didn't do was pitch you. And I think this is the piece where women are afraid, right? If it's not a good fit, you don't have to pitch. Right? But you could have been like, well, Shannon, tell me, what do you offer? Maybe I do need your help. And then I could be like, sure. And then I'll walk you through it. And essentially what that would do is, like, she's selling herself on me, right? You're convincing yourself you need to hire me. I'm like, I don't know if you even need me. Like,
it's fun though, because you're asking the right questions and you're not doing it in a way where I know you're following any type of formula or anything. It's just like, let's have a conversation. Right?
I'm not at all. And so what that was is just the exploration, the detective.
Yes. So juicy. And you never know, we might work together in the future.
Everything is available to us, right? Everything is available.
Well, that was really fun. Thank you for sharing that and bringing our listeners through observing that conversation. Any other last thoughts, questions, comments that you want to leave for us today, Shannon?
Well, I'm going to leave you guys with an ebook, and the ebook is going to have actual questions that you can ask under each of those, BANT, which is budget, authority, need, and timeline. I would say that if you are not hitting your desired sales goals, don't invest in anything else beyond learning how to sell. Like, it's a skill. It honestly is a skill. It can be hard because from a mindset perspective, you're shifting, the way you're moving and maneuvering. But it will pay you dividends. It will pay you dividends.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I really appreciate your time, your energy, your knowledge, your pink couch behind you. I just got to give a shout out to it. I absolutely love it. And, you know, for those listening, again, we're going to post the resources below. So make sure you click on them, download the ebook. It has been a pleasure having you on today, Shannon, and I look forward to many more connections in the future.
Thank you so much, Crystal. Thank you.